Good day everyone. This is Romeo Martin from BSBA1 and this is my PowerPoint presentation. First topic is describe and explain the flow of circular flow model. The circular flow model demonstrates how money moves through society. Money flows from producers to workers as wages and flows back to producers as payment for products. In short, an economy is an endless circular flow of money. For that reason, the model is also referred to as the particular flow of income model. Circular flow diagram. The circular flow diagram or circular flow model is a graphical representation of the flows of goods and money between two distinct parts of the economy. Market for goods and services, where households purchase goods and services from firms in exchange for money. Markets for factors of production are such as labor or capital, where firms purchase factors in production from household in exchange for money. Second one is what is your own art of economic analysis aside from the description referred to the book. An example for this is much of economic theory rests on an assumption of rational behavior by consumers, especially in classical economics. Economic theory is derived from a belief that consumers and firms will rationally pursue utility, maximizing decisions. Yet, in practice, human nature is much more complex, and their behavioral economics tries to understand these human factors much more. But this involves many normative or subjective opinions. C. Analyze and explain what is rational self-interest. Economic Economists assume that humans make decisions in predictable ways. They believe that when making choices, people try to avoid costs and maximize benefit to themselves. This is what economists mean by rational decision making. Economists recognize that very few choices in the real world are all or nothing. Most of the time, people have the choice to do a little more or a little less or something. You should eat one more muffin, or you should study economics for one another hour. You should spend a little less money on gas. Or an economist use the word marginal to mean additional or extra, and they use the term marginal analysis to describe how people make choices by comparing the benefits and cost of doing a bit more or a bit less. Economists can make two kinds of arguments: positive reasoning and scientific reasoning based on theories and evidence. Policy decisions often employ normative reasoning, which is based on values. For reasons we will see later, it is important to be able to differentiate between the two. First one is define rationality in an economic context, and the second one is provide examples of rational decision making. Letter D is why does choice requires time and information. Cite your example. Rational choice takes time and information. A choice can be a poor one if a decision maker lacks of good information. The collection and assimilation of information take time and use up resources. My example for this is most people want to get the most useful product at lowest price. Because of this, they will judge the benefit of a certain object and how useful it is or how attractive it is compared to those of similar objects. They will they will compare prices or costs, or in general, people will choose the object that provides the greatest reward at the lowest cost. The next one is what does it mean when we say economic analysis is a marginal analysis? When we say marginal analysis is an examination of additional benefits of an activity compared to the additional costs incurred by that same activity. Companies use marginal analysis as a decision-making tool to help them maximize their potential profits. For example, if a company is thinking about expanding to increase the volume of products that it produces, management may choose to perform a marginal analysis to determine whether the additional cost the company will incur is a good investment that in the growth of the business. In order to do this, management will have to add all of the additional costs that are associated with an increase in production. The next one is, in your own words, differentiate macroeconomics from microeconomics. When we say macroeconomics is the study of an economy overall efficiency, structure, behavior, and decision making, while microeconomics is the study of single individual in a single organization or a company economic interaction. Market are where this interaction, which mostly consists of buying and selling product, take place. Microeconomics is therefore the study of markets, the relation between supply and demand, as well as the scarcity of commodities, are two main elements of this economic science. The last one is, what is the role of theory in economics? Indeed, one of the most important roles of economic theory is to keep track of benefit and cost. The idea of opportunity cost is a fundamental one in economics and would be very difficult to use without theoretical model of economic linkages. Economic theories try to explain economic phenomena, to interpret why and how the economic behaves and what is the best solution and how to influence or to solve these economic phenomena. In principles, the approach to economic theory is divided into positive and normative. Enumerate the four steps of scientific method used in the field of management. The first one is make an observation that describes a problem. We make decisions constantly which affect our lives and lives of others. Normally, we do not think about the problem solving process since most of our problems are solved by reaction rather than reflection. The fact that our reaction processes are result of natural reflexes and build up over time of small habitual and learned techniques hides the true processes involved. And it is only when we are stumped for an answer or find ourselves faced with multifaceted problems demanding more than learned or habitual reaction that we acknowledge need for more advanced tools. The second one is create a hypothesis. State the problem that are you trying to solve and make sure that hypothesis clearly defines the topic and the focus of the experiment. There must be a possibility to prove that the hypothesis is true, or there must be a possibility to prove that the hypothesis is false, and the result of the hypothesis must be reproducible. Number 3 is test the hypothesis. While the hypothesis testing is an act in a statistic whereby an analysis tests its assumption regarding a population parameter. The methodology employed by the analyst depends on the nature of the data used and the reason for the analysis. Hypothesis testing is used to assess the plausibility of hypothesis by using sample data. Draw conclusions and refine the hypothesis. When drawing a conclusion, the researcher may think that another causal effect influenced the result and that this variable was not eliminated during the experimental process. A refined version of the experiment may help to achieve better results if the new effect is included in the design process. That's all. Thank you for listening.